We'll go live right away. We don't need to have the introduction. And we're continuing with Pro Woman Cappy because I decided to do several videos in response to more than several, a significant amount of female clients that have contacted me looking for men. How do I get the guys? And when you have that many people, oh, Aaron, why'd you write the Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty? Because I had a lot of black dudes coming up asking me the same questions. And I say, well, we'll just answer them all in one shot like this. And I don't want to say I'm predicting, but I'm hoping, if a man is allowed to hope, that maybe some women are waking up. They're going to be introduced into the real world for a change instead of this pie in the sky propaganda coddled fake environment that's like, oh, everything's amazing and wonderful and you deserve Hugh Jackman or Ryan Reynolds or Aaron Clary as a husband, and he better bow down and kiss your feet and all that other stuff. So but there has been a trend of women who are more grounded, more realistic. They have not been corrupted or co-opted by leftist, feminist, indoctrinated thinking, nor idealistic pie in the sky thinking. And to address their concerns, did a couple of videos here originally. So we're going to talk about the unfortunate reality as to why young women, not my age, because I'm old, and the women my age are spinsters, so it's over for us. It's game over for you guys. I can date younger if I want. It's game over for you gals. Yeah, enjoy your gray pubes. All right, there you go. Are you a grandma? Oh, is it already? That's happening now, by the way. That's actually happening. I know some people my age are grandmas. I'm like, whoa. I've had sex with a woman who actually is now a grandma. I'm like, ugh. Like dentures and crappy shoes and watching The Price is Right and daytime soap operas and telenovas. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about, unfortunately, the younger women who account for the majority of my female clientele, and they're looking for Dagaisa. And if you want to watch the previous video I did about the bifurcated dating market of men, women could certainly watch that. But we're going to review some basic things here. The general problem that accomplished quality women are facing is that the selection of men is very poor. And then they come up to me and they say, how do I find the Geisa? And then I asked them the same kind of battery of questions like, all right, send me some pictures. What do you look like? Okay, you dress like a guy. Okay, you got purple hair. All right, you're fat. But that rarely happens. Usually they're very comely, svelte young women. Then I ask them, all right, what proactive measures are you taking to get the Geisa? See, because when the guys have to get the girlsa, the guys have to go out and ask the girlsa out. The guys that have to work her, the guys that have to approach her, the guys that have to go and offer her. And God bless it almighty, if there was no more poignant point to State Roll Tomasi's axiom, women are human beings, men are human doings. And that's how it's been genetically programmed. That's how it is. That's how nature made it, or God, if you believe in God. Whatever, stronger forces have made men and women different, and that's how they made them. Well, some feminists 50 years ago thought they knew better than 2 million years of human evolution. And now, after it's just been beaten into now 3 generations of men that you girls are equal, guys are starting to listen to that and take it to heart. You are equal. And by God, you don't need men. Don't know if you got the memo. And now the girls are like, well, why can't I find a guy? Well, now with this new paradigm, this new environment where women are exactly equal to men, unfortunately, the reality is that you girls are going to have to ask men out. Oh, did we expose the hypocrisy of feminism there, boys and girls? Oh, you want all the benefits of equality, but not the responsibility. And you can't have, that's like having the a penny. Like, I want to have a Lincoln penny, but I don't want to have the Lincoln Memorial on one side. I just want Abraham Lincoln on one side. It doesn't work that way. Here's your penny. You get both sides. You wanted freedom. You wanted equality. You want to be treated as equal. Then you will be equal. Part of which is that you have to work equal amounts. You have to be responsible for your decisions, which I'm not against. I'm all for people being equal, of course, absolutely. But as it pertains to these young women, there is this legacy programming that we have through human evolution that men are the aggressors, men are the pursuers, women are the existers. But within 50 years, whether we genetically, biophysiologically believe that or feel that, viscerally feel that or not, the public statement has been made that women are the exact same as men. And whether you girls realized it or not, men are rather empirical. Men use this thing called the English language. Now, I bet you the men in China also use the Chinese language, but we use this thing called language, and words mean things. So that when you say, be sensitive, be kind, be feminist, support, okay, they literally take what you said and translate it. Now, women speak a completely different language where the words don't mean it. I'd love to go out with you. Here's my number. And then when you say 5:30 on Friday, she's gone. You're like, where are you? And then you don't hear from them again because flaking is fun. But in the world of man, words have meaning. And men society cannot progress, cannot exist unless men honor their word. Now you've wanted into that world. And you said, now we're equal. It's like, okay, maybe you should ask guys out. But we're not going to talk about the hypocrisy because that's not the larger point. Unfortunately, what has happened because of this environment that we've raised now 3 generations of men in is that you girls told them, as did your boomer and Xer parents, teachers, guidance counselors, professors, media personalities, that women were equal. And among other things, he made it very clear to men. Did you ever say you didn't need a man? Did you ever say that? Oh. Since men are literal and words have meanings, which is maybe why we make more money, because we are literal, they took that to heart. And now you are faced with an environment of less aggressive men. And now, in some cases, that's good, because I'm sure there's been overly aggressive men and, pot calling the kettle black, and it's inconvenient or discomforting and all that. But you have raised a generation of men under the assumption that you are equals. And the old school thinking, that old software programming has now had an update, an overlap made on top of it that negates all that. It's like, okay, waiting. Right? On top of that, you have also created a soft environment where you wanted, not only did you want equality, you wanted men. You didn't want to just raise yourself to men's standards. You wanted men coming down to women's standards, where men are more in touch with themselves and sensitive and kind and not so aggressive. Okay. And because men want to get laid, they followed that. And now you have a generation of weak, more than one generation. You have multiple generations of weak, pansified men who are not aggressive, who are cowards. They're not courageous. Dude, I've done way more dangerous things and threatening things than asking a girl out. To me, asking a girl, that's nothing. All right. But for most men, it's a very frightening experience. And then with the backdrop that you told them that women are equal, they're like, oh, I remember this when I was in the 8th grade. Well, women are equal. They'll ask me out. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Right? But that doesn't change that you've conditioned men over the past 4 decades, 5 decades, to not be men, to not ask you out. And then you girls come on, well, how come I can't find the guy? Why can't I find a guy who isn't a soy boy or an F boy? It's like, well, you kind of created this mess. So we're going to go over the reasons why, unfortunately, the reality, it's not going to happen. I know it's against your nature, ladies. I remember one gal, she had a crush on a buddy of mine. She's like, what should I do? I said, well, why don't you dress pretty and do yourself up and, and maybe ask him out. Oh, no, she'll dress pretty. Oh, she did. She dressed pretty. She put on makeup. She didn't lose weight. Let's be honest. Okay, that takes too much effort. And she would do everything but ask the guy out. It even came to tears. She was crying because she didn't want to ask him out because that was too threatening. It goes against your nature. I know why you girls don't ask guys out. You don't have the balls to do it. I got it. I understand. But you said words. Words have meaning and words have consequences, especially words repeated over 5 effing decades. Men and women are equal. They're exact same. They're interchangeable. By the way, we don't need you. Got it. Message received. Loud and clear. Memo received. Now we're taking action. Why don't men ask us out? So I'm going to go over why this new environment where, unfortunately, if you girls want to get a guy, you're going to have to start asking men out. And unfortunately, this video is academic. Again, because it goes against women's nature to ask a man out. You frankly do not have the courage, the fortitude, or the balls, or the bravery to face rejection. There was one gal asked me out. One. And I've told that story before where I said no. And you could just see I just crippled her heart. She's like, and this is, of course, this is after 6 months of her telling me about this guy called Brian. Brian's really cute. How do I ask out Brian? I'm working security late at night. I got stuff to do. I'm trying to do my homework and do patrols. They had us stationed at a desk. And this nice young lady, girl, would come up and talk to me. And she had a crush on a guy called Brian. And Brian this, and Brian, how do I get Brian? Brian. And inevitably, she got so annoying to me. I'm like, look, go effing ask the guy out. All right, I don't know. What do you want? For Christ's sake, it's been 6 months. Ask him out. She says, well, you're Brian. I'm like, what? Because I'm a polite guy. I was so poor and starved. I had no patience for BS. What? You're the guy. So would you go out with me? I'm like, I just remember saying, no. And I shouldn't laugh because I just devastated her. Well, why not? I said, because of her religion. I'm not going to go into the details. She wouldn't have premarital sex. It's because you won't have sex. And I had dated a girl for a year and change who wouldn't have sex. So like, get the F out of here. Well, I'll do other stuff. Nope. And then she ran upstairs and cried. That's the one gal. And even though I crushed her heart and was with truth, oh, horrors. Not the truth. Men want to have sex. Oh, nosies. That's the one gal, one out of multiple hundreds of women that I've dated that actually had the balls to ask me out. Maybe I should have reconsidered. In hindsight, well, obviously I should have been more polite, but I just was so taxed and had no resources. It was there. Anyway, it goes against your nature. But for theoretical sake, for running a global warming model, for running a coronavirus model, let's just academically discuss why women are now going to have to ask men, even though I know it'll never happen. Because equality, am I right? So I took a little bit of notes here. All right, first, I already talked about this one. Men use language. Words mean things. All right. When you told men many years ago and multiple times, whether it was men of your own age or maybe you're old enough that you have young boys, you have children now, you're my age or so, and you told them women like sensitive men, women want a man who listens, women want all that worthless Oprah crap because you didn't have the balls to tell your son, look, your dad was masculine, I was drunk, and I wanted him inside me. It was visceral. There was no sensitivity. And that's why I divorced him, because I hated his guts anyway. I mean, you do not tell young men the truth. You lie to them, whether you're an actual girl of their own generation or you're their mother or you're in media or whatever. And when you tell men, be sensitive, be kind, be caring, no, you don't have to work out. Oh, no, be fat. You introduce your politics. I don't know why you introduce politics into this, but you do. Because I guess the only thing you have in life, the only thing that gives you value is your politics. The equality, feminism, blah, 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 and yeah, and we're gonna hyphenate our names or combine our names together. Men are so desperate for sex, they will follow that. Right? And unfortunately, what you told them is not what you wanted. You wanted what we all know, and that's tall, dark, and handsome, brooding, and will beat the crap out of other men. You want a strong, tall, dark, and handsome man. No, you're not going to insult us, but that's what it is. But you didn't tell men that. See, and I don't know, in women's world where words have different meanings, maybe there's a translation. I don't care. Too late. You've now raised 3 generations of young boys who are now sometimes almost pushing 40-year-old men to believe this leftist feminist slop, that you're supposed to be sensitive and write poetry and all this other crap and buy flowers. When you should have just said, go to the gym, learn to fight, be tall, which not a lot of people control that. But the fact you lied, now here you go. Here's these. And you raised a bunch of sensitive, pansified pussies. And so now you think they're going to ask you out? They're like, oh, they treat him as equal. They'll just, whoa, no. So that's one thing. Men are literal. You said X. They believe X, they acted on X, and now you're like, I can't believe men are doing X. Where have all the good Y men gone? Well, you told them to do X. I mean, he can serve you a mean mocha and maybe write you some poetry with his literature degree. Oh, no, but he's got a nice beard. It's very perfectly groomed. He even moisturizes his beard. Oh, you didn't want that? Oh, you wanted the Navy guy or the sailor or the Army guy. Oh, and that's why you're cheating on your soy boy husband with the Marine you just met with. Dre's out there somewhere. Dre's out there. So that's 1. 2, mentioned this before in the previous video. Did you know there's this thing called divorce? And do you know that like half the marriages end in divorce? And that the generation of boys, like I'm on the old side. Like, and my generation went through the boomer divorce Olympics, so we were the latchkey kids. But every successive younger generation has seen their parents get divorced in equal percent measure. This is assuming they even got married in the first place and wasn't just like, baby mommy, baby daddy, broken home, single parent. And that's a winning combination because they left anyway. And so you have scared women, not you young girls, but your moms and your grandmothers, your boomer grandmothers, with the divorce Olympics. Look up the divorce rate, happened in the late 70s. You scared the ever-living crap. And these young men, or young boys who are now maybe men, average age men, they remember their dads getting divorced. They've seen their buddies get divorced. I don't know if you knew this, divorce is pretty expensive and it cripples men's finances and it makes them impoverished. There's a lot of guys like, Space Ghost, Hogan's Heroes, anything but. So the long term, even though it is dating, you think, well, maybe men just want to date and have fun. Yeah, it's true. There's a market for that. We'll get to that later. But long term, the overarching goal and purpose of dating, which would have been marriage, has been heavily desanctified, defiled, ruined. And for a lot of guys, it's like, whoa, if that's So it's a further disincentive for them to ask you out. Okay. Let's go back 4 or 5 years. I do remember the false grape accusation thing that was going on in college. All the UAV, the Emma Sulkowitzes, all that stuff. More recently than that, though, would be the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. Now, I know you said, well, that guy was running for public office, and that's rare, and this is, whether you believed in Blasey for the crazy psychotic woman. Boomers, by the way, boomers. What's the cause of all the problems? Answer is pretty much sure, boomers. Anyway, when that's up on the television, and what might be politically correct to agree is believe her, but what men see is like, I saw no evidence, and this is 36 years old accusation. And then when you look at the colleges, which would happen multiple times where, okay, somebody was accused of grape. We have to say grape because YouTube doesn't allow for the other word. And then you do some research and the investigation happened. Oh, they didn't go to the cops. They went to the university. Why didn't you go to the cops? And you find out, oh, because she's a spurned lover. Hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. And I guess, thankfully, it doesn't seem to be as common now. But 5 years ago, it was the hip new trend to falsely accuse a guy that you happen to have some bedroom fun time with of grape if he didn't want to commit to you. And so when that makes the news, it could be 1 out of 10,000. You know, it's kind of like a Muslim terrorists or Muslim radicals, right? The vast majority of Muslims are not murderous, terrorist type, but there's enough. It doesn't take, it just has to be one turd in the punch bowl. You're like, whoa, hang on now. Because the risks are so high. And this is all couch. I don't know if you girls notice this. The rah feminism, you go girl stuff, the constant praise and adulation and sobbing and mourning of the oppression of the women and their victims, and you are the oppressed. Do you think that environment and seeing a couple guys, a couple heads on spears, heads on pikes, you think that might scare guys away? Or, oh, wow, I can't wait to ask out Susie Q to the hip hop dance. The sock hop, sorry. Well, it could be a hip hop. They don't have sock hops. They're probably hip hop in today's world. I don't think I can emphasize enough. Again, men use words. Words have meaning. I don't know how many times I was told, and I think I'm not alone here with other men, that we were not needed. Now, maybe that got you going. Maybe it felt good. Ooh, we're going to get the guys. If you tell them they're not needed, and men are literal, they are going to start making decisions based off of that. And so they have divested, disengaged from women, or at least don't engage or invest as much into women as they used to. And in the cacophony of the background of rah feminism, men are bad. And then oh God, dad got divorced and he's living in a car. Like, you're kind of like, and we're not, oh, by the way, ladies, we're not talking like if a guy were to ask you out, the worst that could happen to him is, oh, you say no. Now we're worried about like, do I go to jail? If we date and engage, not get engaged in a matrimonial sense, but if we were to court and date, do I have to, like, do we have to worry about, you got the VAWA laws, VAWA, consent form. We got to the point you got to get consent forms to technically be within the law. How do I get the guys? Where have all the good men gone? I have no idea. Maybe they're scared shitless and saying, F this shit, I'm out of here. And then let's also introduce, I've talked about this before, we're going to introduce it again. Your generally speaking, now this is a painting with a big brush, I admit, not all women are like this. But generally you girls want socialism. It's generally it. You want the government to pay for everything. You want no hardship. You don't want no difficulty. You don't want no challenge in life. Not just for yourself, but other people as well. I'll grant you that. Right? But the problem is, it's like going to a gym. Okay. You want a strong masculine man. Not just in a physical sense, but you like to be intellectually strong, character strong, physically strong, psychologically rigorous, that he can handle anything and protect, just be a badass, right? Am I in kind of? I know you said sensitive. I didn't believe that. I know. But if you keep voting for socialism, which puts life on easy mode, you're depriving these men of the hardship that makes them men. And it's no different than going to the gym and saying, oh, here's this weak boy, Fred. Fred would make a great husband if he just gained some muscle. And so you're looking at Fred. Let's say Fred's a 16-year-old boy. He's kind of lanky and nerdy and noodly, like a lot of 16-year-old boys were and are today. Boy, but if we get Fred at the gym and we have him eat the right kind of diet and he runs and he works out, he'd be strong. Maybe we teach him how to box or jujitsu. And inevitably, over years, not a lot, but several, he'd become a strong young man. And then girls would like him. But you girls vote generally for socialism. And instead of letting Fred lift the weights themselves, voting for leftism and UBI and student loan bailouts and touchy-feely stuff and everything's on the end, free housing and free health care, you deprive these men of the lifting of the weights that builds muscles. And you voting for socialism literally is like sending in two people that every time Fred wants to do a bench press, they help lift up the weights. And Fred never gains any muscle. And so in putting life on easy mode by providing free health care, free this, you should be on 26 years old, you could be on your parents' health insurance. You want free student loan bail, all this free stuff. Gee, I wonder why the term soy boy exists. I wonder, and you complain about all these boys live at home. Well, you set it up that way. You voted for it. You didn't make it worthwhile, and I talked about it before. You all vote to increase taxes, so there's a huge disincentive for any guy to actually go make a lot of money. You'll just tax it and take it all away. Because I want to help the child, but it make me feel good. But the larger point is you have made such a soft environment, and soft environments result in soft people, particularly men. And then you complain that there's not any real men. Well, maybe if you stop voting Democrat and put life on easy mode and made them lift their own weights, pay their own rent, and not sit there and sit like a pathetic bum with a cup in his hand. Hopefully Biden will bail me out of my political science degree. And can't I find a man? Oh, gee, I don't know. You raised an entire generation of pussies? And not that you raised them, but you told, be sensitive, be kind, be leftist. Okay, I'm going to vote for free crap. Hey, free crap. I'm not going to the gym. Where are all the good men? Where are the guys that go to the gym? And ultimately, I'm sorry, ladies, it's just too darn risky now. It's just too risky. I mean, well, you told us you didn't need us, and then there's like these fake grape accusations, and then it's like, well, it's already intimidating. Don't know if you knew this, girls, because very few of you actually ever had the balls to ask a guy out. It's pretty intimidating asking a girl out. Pretty intimidating. You know, inevitably I got over it. It's just a sales job after a while, but for the average guy, it's pretty intimidating. But when you make it such a bad proposition, with so much risk attached to it, and you raised a generation of pussies, don't be surprised if men aren't asking you out. Don't. Right? Don't complain where all it is swipes, because a swipe takes all the internet is a very fascinating ingredient added into this maelstrom mix where there's no risk. Oh, yeah, guys will meet you on the internet. Guys will swipe on you all day. How many guys actually ask you out in person? So you got all these swipes, which unfortunately, because I know a lot of guys will just swipe, is it right if you like the girl and left if you don't? They'll just swipe right all the time and let you do the work. That's why your inbox is flooded among many other reasons. I can't stand men. They're all soy boys or F boys. Well, you created that dichotomy investment. Look at the previous video. But all of a sudden you're flooded and inundated. Well, what's the next step? And this is the larger point I'm trying to point out is, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, you girls have been demanding equality. And you have received it in various capacities, right to vote and ownership. And I am absolutely all for that. Absolutely. But you have now created an environment where something I presume is very important to you, and that would be falling in love and finding a husband or finding a guy, is now compromised. And you have forced it upon yourself where now you have to take action. Okay? Because these guys, frankly, they're not going to ask you out. Oh, you'll get asked out and swiped. Okay, and it'll be an F boy or a soy boy. One guy that ain't going to commit, the other guy you're not interested in. But the guy that you see who seems to be like a hardworking dude, and he has his act together, but he doesn't seem like a playboy. He might be more of a serious, committed man. He maybe hits the gym. He's not going to ask you out. He's like, Oh, by the way, you'd like to ask out that guy at work? Nah, not going to happen. You made that go away, didn't you? You know how school ends and like you can ask people out at school, but then when work, oh, that's a guy's. You think a guy is going to ask you out at work? That's your field. He hit the ball over to your court. You can swing that racket back anytime, baby. Anytime. And he probably ain't going to drag you in front of HR. You have made it too risky and too unprofitable a proposition for the average guy to approach you and ask you out. That now you have burdened yourself. You now have responsibility that you're the one that has to start asking men out. And I'm sorry. And the reason I say this, getting back to my previous point, is an issue of statistical success, control, agency. You're not going to force these men to ask you out. Now, you could get fake boobs and wear sexy stuff and be long hair and be feminine. You can increase those chances. But if you see a guy you like, and oh, by the way, you girls, like I was giving him hints. Your hints suck because you've given men such misinformation. They can't tell up from down, left from right, east from west, truth or falsehood. They don't know. All right. So you're the one that's going to have to go and ask these guys out if you want to. And the benefit of this, the pro of this, is that is in your control. If you actually want to be equal, if you actually want to have the responsibility. Bobby's not asking me out. I wonder what the solution would be. Bobby's not asking you out? No, he's not. But you want to go out with Bobby, right? Yes, I do. I wonder what the solution to that would be. So Bobby hasn't been picking up your cues. I looked at him the other day and he didn't pick. Oh, gee, I wonder if Bobby must not have the mind of God. So what could we do that's within your power and ability to get on a date with Bobby? What could that possibly be? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you ask him out? What? I'm a traditional. Oh, then the traditional girls. But see, I kind of like it when a guy asks me out. I like it when a girl just randomly says, hey, for no money, can I suck your dick? Yes, but it ain't going to happen. And so at least, and I'm only speaking to a very select group of elite women here. And these are the gals that were the clients and they really want to find a guy. And they actually probably do have the balls and the intellectual courage to ask a guy out. The rest of you conformies, no, just go. Yeah, well, yeah, he's going to ask you out because big is beautiful. And you send him something on the Twittergrams. All right. For you girls that have your act together and you actually do have some courage and you actually do have some intellectual honesty and you will actually own up to the responsibility part of freedom, the tool for you, unfortunate as it may be, is to ask guys out. Because this solves several problems. One, there's no risk for the guy now, and he bears all the risk. He does. The worst you get is you get shot down and your feelings are hurt. Get used to it. Suck it up, buttercup. Welcome to equality. All right. But you ask a guy out, don't worry, you'll get over it. It's just if he says no, there's something wrong with him. Right. But it takes care of the risk there. 2, it advances your cause. 3, it resolves the issue. You shouldn't hem and haw over it for months. And then 4, it's like it makes a very clear statement to the guy. Oh, she's interested. Oh. And I hate to say this. I apologize, ladies. It's so bad. It's been rare, but when a girl expresses interest in me or did express interest in me, I'm like, what's wrong with her? You've made it so bad that if you simply like a guy or are kind to him, the defense, they're like, whoa, what's wrong with her? Who's looking? What's going on? What's the catch? Sadly, because usually that was the case. I'll tell you a funny story. Let me tell you, gather around, kids. Uncle Cappy is going to tell you another story. Actually, I'm going to go to the bathroom first, then I'll tell you the story. Okay, so the story, I was over in Buffalo, Wyoming. Atham, look it up. And I was sitting there. There's a bar called the Occidental. Great bar, by the way. If you ever go out through Wyoming, you're on Highway 90. Stop at Buffalo, Wyoming. Go to the Occidental. Get yourself a cocktail. Nice old school Western bar. And so I was sitting there Friday night. Some night people were out. All of a sudden, this hot brunette comes up to me and sits next to me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, fine." And just without thinking, it's like, that's weird. A girl's being nice to me. What? And she's like, "Oh, so you come here often?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I just live down the block. I'm here pretty much every night. What do you want?" "Oh no, you just like an interesting guy." Da 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 da. And like, "Oh, okay, hey." And at the time I had a girlfriend. I'm like, "Oh, well, that's nice. Like, you have a girlfriend?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a girlfriend." And "Oh, well, okay. Well then," and I was like, "Boy, that's weird. It's just weird. A girl treating a guy nice. That's just weird." Then come to find out, it was a bunch, and this is a cultural thing about Wyoming. The men are dumb. The men are dumb and jealous. And what ended up happening is a bunch of the cowboy dude bros, because I was wearing khakis and a kind of a dress shirt, they thought I was gay. And they sent her over to hit on me to see if I was gay. But there's my point. It's set. Look at the environment you girls have set up for men. That if a girl treats a guy nice, not only is he immediately suspicious, he's usually right. There is something wrong. You have destroyed so much trust amongst the population of men that is like, whoa, she's treating me nice. So just so you know, ladies, I guarantee. See, when men approach a girl, the worst that says she says no. Okay. And then that's incumbent upon you to whether or not let that affect you or not. I'm like, "Oh, she said no, that's fine." Okay, that's how it goes. But you girls are going to face an additional hurdle to this. Not only do you have to develop the bravery and courage and equality to men to approach a man and ask him out, there's this confusion hurdle. He's going to be like, he's not going to understand. He's going to be like, "Wait, what? Why are you talking to me? What's wrong?" And then, so now, not only do you have to like overcome that confusion, you're going to have to be pretty blunt. Then you're going to have to sell yourself. Like, I would like, and the simple way to do this is just write your number down on a piece of paper. Say, "I think you're cute. I want you to take me out sometime." I think that'd be the easiest way for you girls to do it. But just so you know, if you want to go talk to a guy and flirt with him, the default reaction is going to be, "Where's the sniper? What's going on? No, something's wrong." But this is the environment you created. You created a bunch of weak men. Okay. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the truth. For you higher quality gals out there, your sisters on the left side of the political aisle have pretty much scared off all the men into inaction. You've made masculinity illegal. You even come up with a concept, not you guys, but the left women have come up with a concept of toxic masculinity. And so you can understand where men might just be. And the only solution, which is academic and theoretical, is you girls are going to have to ask the guys out, which isn't going to happen. And then I think you think the marriage and the birth rates are tanking now. Just wait. All right. I know we got a lot of super chats. I will be getting to a missed super chats episode here. So if you had your super chat and I didn't answer it, that's perfectly all right. I'll get it next time. I think I'll do that immediately after this one because I have nothing else to do. Well, I actually got a lot to do today. It's been so nice not answering asshole consulting questions. Jay Solar, $5.95. Do you think if women ask men out, they will actually pay for the dates? Oh, Christ, no. Oh, Christ, no. No. See, I'm all for equality, but I'm traditional when it comes to dating. So I like the men to ask me out, and whoever asks has to pay. That's out of here. Goodbye to that. Gordon Knight, 412, $10. Best relationship I ever had was I found a 4 because of her weight, made her lose weight and bumped her up to a 6.5. She already had a good personality because she was heavy so long. Yeah, no, it's easier to make a fat woman hot than a hot girl nice. There's a quote of mine from when I was 30 years old, quite some time ago. Arcady, our Ashkenazi Jewish agent in the field, $5. Your growing popularity is a testament to the fact that so many people simply crave honesty. I'm the only one pimping it out, apparently. I didn't know I was growing. I kind of, a little bit. It's been a slow burn. It's been a slow burn up. It's not hard. People are like, oh, you're this genius. No, I'm not. I'm just the guy with the balls to write a book like The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty, which is essentially don't have kids you can't afford, don't commit no crimes, and don't major in stupid shit. How to close the wage gap. Hey, how about you girls stop majoring in stupid shit? And somehow I'm a philosophical genius for pointing out the obvious. It really is the emperor has no clothes. I'm the innocent little dumb kid. Hey, he's naked. Oh, he's a philosophical genius. No, I've just got the balls to point out the truth. Why do I have to ask out men? I don't know. You've been hating on men, not you personally, but you've been hating on men for 5 decades and maybe they're a little gun shy. Maybe you, and oh, by the way, can't emphasize this enough. Y'all claimed you're equal. When does the equality begin in this regard? See, y'all want equal pay, equal rights. When's the Sadie Hawkins dance coming up? When's that happening? When do I get, never happened to me. Never happened to me. In my ancient many of years of experience, I never had a girl said, hey, I'd like to take you out sometime. I'd be like, okay, tee-hee. I'll pick you up at 6 p.m. on Friday. You will? Okay. Then Friday, some gal picked me up and then took me out and bought me dinner and entertained me. Never freaking happened. Oh, but strong, independent. Strong, independent. Did you know, man, $2 Canadian dollars. Sable wants marriage at 30 after the carousel. No thanks. Space Ghost. I see it. Space Ghost. Okay, I got it. Did you know, man? Good job. Good job. You saved yourself $3 Canadian with that. I think we're all caught up. There's Did You Know, man. All right, I know we missed some super chats. I will be getting into those next. I'll do it right next after this one. I could curse in that one. Typo negative, $5. Had many people tell me nice guys finish last, and I didn't believe them. Nice guys always finish last. They always finished last. Learned the hard way. They were right. Yep. But here's the point, typo negative. Would you have learned that lesson and why that is the case unless you were the nice guy first? You understand what I'm saying? Because, let's say your dad was badass, and he says, you're not going to be a nice guy, you're going to be a badass. And just were a badass for the sake of being a badass, would you have really understood the underlying mechanics of why then you would be more successful with women? And this is where that kind of accidental alpha comes in, where all of a sudden your environment changes, you change, something changes, and you don't know how to recapture because you didn't understand the genetic code of that. You don't understand the formula or why it worked. So I think every young man, I mean, we've seen this evolution with Chad Elkins, where he was like the nice guy and he always tried to help people out and people took advantage of him. You start telling him to F off and screw off. The Walter White transformation. So I think every guy, and you should, here's another reason, not to get too philosophical. You want to be the good guy, okay? Not necessarily the nice guy, but you want to be the good guy. And don't worry, the world will give you a reason to become the bad guy. But we should all start off trying to be the good guy. We should all try and do what's right. And then when the world punishes us, that gives us the excuse to punish back at the world. You know, like when I try doing the right thing, all I get called is names and isms and I'm a sexist for what? Telling women to major in engineering? I'm a racist because what? I tell minorities to stop having kids they can't afford, and that makes me a bad person? All right, fine. Okay, gloves off now. Now I have the moral right. I tried to do it the right way the first time. Now I got the moral right to beat the ever living shit out of humanity and take advantage of them and lie to them. So I think for your own moral soul, you have to start out as the nice guy or the good guy. And don't worry, you won't be rewarded. You will be punished. And that then gives you the freedom by which to go and get your vengeance upon society. So, where have all the good guys gone? All right, we'll get to the Miss Super Chats later. We'll see you guys later, Toodles. Oh, hang on. Everyone go buy that book, How Not to Become a Millennial. All right, good. Glad we had that chat. Toodles.